From out of the man cave and onto the air, it's your favorite voice of ecstasy. It's John St. John with the best morning after ever radio show. 30-some-odd minutes of happenings, discussions, and full frontal nudity. So put your arms around your speakers. It's John St. John.
Wow. Hey, I'm back. And so is the beautiful, lovely, lovable
That's right,
Cindy
we got
Lou.
her back. So
What? We forgot how to do this.
Even though we've been gone for a couple of weeks.
Hey, Kingpin, how you doing? We're happy to be back. I know he's never happy to have us here.
Well,
it's
he's
early.
not the one who's happy to be here.
But we're happy to be.
me.
Yeah, Cindy Lou's always happy to be here. It's kind of weird when you get out of the. I took too long a vacation. I forgot how to do this.
Well, yeah. I mean,
show prep and calling guests and preparing some marketing for the show.
Well, yeah.
Kind of forgot how to do all that.
The life of a snowbird.
And in the last month, I've decided to take on, instead of doing my night stuff with the gigs of karaoke and driving and all that junk. I decided to get a real job.
Yeah, I know.
I'm working 8 to 5.
Pretty fantastic.
I hate it.
Well, I
am not a morning person.
Well, that's too bad.
And people joke about that. Psychologists say it's in your head. Bull poop.
Yeah.
I guess we could say bullshit. Bullshit.
Yeah.
I am not a morning person.
No, there's a lot of people out there that aren't morning people.
Because I can't. I tried the Red Bull. I tried the 5. What's the 5 after? What the hell's that little red bottle?
Yeah. What? Yeah. 5 hours.
5 hour energy. Because I don't do coffee. But I do sugar.
Right.
And my mom, who's a nutritionist, and my girlfriend, who actually is kind of out of shape a little bit like me, but everybody's telling me, you can't have all that sugar, you're going to get diabetes, da, da, da. But I'll tell you what, I need something. And it is working. I have my, chocolate. It's basically like a morning breakfast bar, but it's mostly chocolate. It does help.
Sugar will wake you up
and
everything like that.
And then you crash.
Eventually you get that crash.
You get about 2 hours in, I'm ready to go take a nap.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So from 8 to 10, I'm golden.
Right.
But luckily we take a break at 10.
Well, and that's why they have those breaks like every 2 hours. I don't know. I've been in the corporate world for quite some time, so I'm going to wish you well on that one.
Well, I know you kind of run your own business on top of being a radio star.
I am my corporation.
But don't you have a schedule? No, you just take a break whenever you want. You get a.
I don't really. My breaks are built in whenever my breaks are built in. I take them when I can, but it's not that often.
Speaking of that, I needed to take a break. Oh well, we'll wait till the next show. Anyway. Wait till the end of this one, I guess. So yeah, it's been interesting trying to adjust to normal hours and still be kind of a bit of a night owl.
Sure.
There's that 5 hour, between going out and doing public appearances and whatever else I'm doing, that I can go home and take a nap. It's great though. Chicago has a great. New York, I'm sure, has a good one. Vegas, not so good. I've been in Vegas. LA is supposed to be good. It's okay. I was in Hollywood for a while. It was okay. The transportation, the public transportation here, you can't beat it.
Yeah, I mean, well, it depends on where you live. But
the metro.
But yeah,
coming out of the suburbs, I'm talking Chicago here.
Yeah.
Metro from the suburbs. I live out west. Coming into the city, I'm here in 30 minutes. I mean, there's no way you could drive in 30 minutes.
Well,
where I live in the morning.
Not at that time of day. There's not. No.
Even when we come to the studio here, we don't all live here in the city.
I know.
It takes. Look at the clock. It takes 35 to 40 minutes.
I know. It took me an hour and a half to get home from Evanston the other day.
Okay,
so.
but I am walking to my in my desk 20 minutes early because the train is always. I haven't had it late yet. Now, knock on wood, it's only been less than a month.
So.
A week, 2 weeks, or whatever.
Sure.
Because we're already towards the end of January. But regardless, it takes a little bit of getting used to.
Now, what made you decide to do this whole
thing? I don't know. The income level from radio isn't
nightlife going on, and exciting career opportunities.
We can save that for another show if you'd like to talk about it. Now, I was going to talk about the politics and the State of the Union, which was last night.
We are back, and we got to keep it fresh. So.
It's a Wednesday morning, so we're kind of doing a weird schedule now. We're doing like Wednesday through Saturday, no Sunday, Mondays, or Tuesday.
Well, we're doing it as we can. I mean, we are only human. And,
well, I guess you work days too, but not always 8 to 5 specifically.
I don't have specific hours, so when we can do this, we do this.
Yes, to finish what you were saying, I did switch from being a driver to karaoke shows. That was always fun.
Yes.
I did a few other things that I'm not proud of.
Okay.
It was cash.
Well, that's okay.
I don't know if we can say it. I'm going to get audited now.
No, you're not. You're not.
I hope not. I don't know how many IRS agents are listening to the Best Morning After Ever radio show.
Nobody's listening here. So
well, I don't know the stats on YouTube. We haven't been much on Spreaker and Slam lately, but on YouTube we did some videos. I don't know. We had a couple hundred, so a couple hundred people are looking.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're getting it out there.
Once again, I'm kind of out of my game of doing marketing and promotions. I've been busy with other things.
No, there's sometimes there's just other things to do. We're doing this on our own gig here.
The money we make here is definitely not what I thought it would be. I'll say that. We'll leave it at that.
Is there money we're making here?
There's the money is. That's how bad it is.
Wait,
you're actually paying to be here, aren't you, Cindy
My check bounced the last time.
It's cash. What do you mean it bounced?
The cash that you gave me bounced.
It was it was that rubber, like you see in the Stooges comedy, the rubber dollar.
It was real money. I don't know.
Or in Living Color, I can't remember what TV series always had. They make fun of
the 401k plan around here seems to be.
It kind of sucks.
Seems to be the slot machine at the bar.
That's how we've been making money.
Apparently,
going to the
I
bar.
lost money the other day.
We're doing we did a New Year's public appearance. That was cool. We did it without our producer, Brian.
Yes, we did.
The Pose was supposed to be there. Strike the Pose.
He was, but he wasn't.
No, it was me and Cindy Lou.
That's right. We were
having a good time with good old Rich.
Living it up. We were actually with
Rich.
Yes.
You'll hear him on Friday. We were with our entertainment concierge. It was great.
Yeah, that was a good time.
You know what? The prime rib wasn't as good as I thought it would be. I was kind of upset about maybe we shouldn't mention the casino because I'm bashing them a little bit. We were over at the theater in the south side of Chicago off of the Skyway over there.
It was a venue.
We can say it. It was at the venue. It was the buffet at the Horseshoe in the venue.
And it was actually pretty good.
Actually, it was good.
Not everything was perfect, but yes, there was a couple different kinds of shrimp that were good. I think
my prime rib was like overdone.
Yeah, I mean,
I like it raw
soup and I don't know or something like that. And I'm sure they kind of do that kind of stuff almost every day. But
it's usually better. I was not impressed. I think it was just so many people.
I think there was just so many people,
and they were so busy.
Line and
they didn't look like they were too happy to be there on New Year's Eve.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if the casino really made money that night. I mean,
I
really want to know if the casino.
Speaking of that,
I know they made some money that night.
You didn't make money. I made money that night, and I gave it back when I was over there for another thing with Rich about a week or so ago. I gave it all back. So
it was really
much
kind
for
of
that.
Just a trade.
It was a trade.
Instead of sitting there, I should have just given you the money, and we didn't even have to go.
This is an interesting segue. It's all about the money, and I'll tell you, the State of the Union was not favoring the money. Well, maybe for the middle class. But what about? I'm sorry, I misspoke. Maybe for the rich, but not so much for the middle class or the poor.
It's always going to favor the rich.
He talked a good talk. The president,
it's always going to favor the rich. He's trying to make the point to bring the poor up by bringing the rich down.
Yeah, well,
it's not going to
the old
happen,
here. It's basically the anti-trickle down. In other words, you had Reaganomics, you had the Bush era, and then you've got the Carter and the Obama administration and the Clintons kind of doing it the other way.
Exactly. And there's a whole lot of
I'm not against helping out the poor. I don't want to sound like I'm some sort of evil doer. I mean, I'm a more of a libertarian. I was in the adult industry. I'm pretty liberal, But the thing is, when it comes to my money, I don't like the government taking it as little as possible.
Well, no, I don't think the government should have the right to take your money.
We have more? In the old days, there were more private companies that took care of poor or homeless or mentally what do you want to call it? Mentally unstable.
Right.
There were St. Anthony's Church and stuff would take care of you back in the day.
Yeah, that was the case back in the day, but now everything is getting privatized. Everything is getting privatized.
No, that's a good thing. I'm saying you don't want the government. That's what I'm saying.
No, you
that's
really
a
don't
good
want
thing.
The government doing anything.
That's good. So you think it's going back to the old days?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you a real quick story the other day.
Wait, but President Obama doesn't see it that way.
No, I mean, but I could just recap my trip to the VA hospital on
the VA hospital.
Yes, the VA hospital on Martin Luther King Day.
I'm confused.
Of course, it's while I was at my job.
I didn't know you were a vet, Cindy.
Well, I'm not a vet. I just happen to frequent hospitals, and the VA seems to be one of them. And I was the lucky one who got to go there on the holiday, which really isn't a holiday, by the way. So,
what holiday was that?
Well, Martin Luther King Day.
Oh, Martin Luther King. Sure.
I mean, well, it's not a holiday for me. It's a holiday for other people, but not me.
Well, that's right. We're back of the week of the State of the Union and Martin Luther King.
Right. So, and I'm trying to make my delivery and do it in a timely fashion, and nobody's around. And they're like, well, it's against your policy. Nobody's here. I can't unlock the door. Maybe Jim over there can unlock the door. No, I'm not authorized to unlock the door.
Well, but wait a minute. How does that show privatization? Or you're saying that wouldn't have been a problem?
I'm saying that the VA is one big giant bureaucracy, and this is why health care run by the government is never ever going to work.
I got it. Okay, making sense now.
It's never ever going to work.
Oh, I didn't. You know what? I didn't catch. I'm a little tired early in the morning. Well, the VA hospital is a public run. The government runs.
Well, the government runs it, and if you're a veteran, you have every right to go to the VA hospital
for free,
for basically free, as long as you fought in a war. It doesn't matter what war. Even if you
was in Grenada, do I get to go?
Even if you were in Grenada, you're entitled to go to the VA. But the thing is,
what about if I'm Oliver North?
Well, it draws out the worst because it is free.
Iran-Contra affair. Does he still get to go? I think so.
I don't know. I mean, like my dad is a vet. He's a vet. He's a veteran. He works.
The healthcare at the Veterans Hospital are no
he's
good,
a veteran.
Right?
And he actually works for the federal government still.
Haven't you ever seen the movie Born on the 4th of July with Ron, what was his last name? Ron Wood, Ron Silver,
Ron
whatever?
Kovic.
Ron Kovic, thank you.
Yeah,
that's
I remember
the state
movie.
of the... that was back in the 70s, but still...
that is the state of it.
I don't know
1,
if it's
2,
gotten any
3, 4. We don't need your... what war.
Effing war.
Sorry,
yeah, let's not use the F word.
But,
Well, anyway, so the president had the State of the Union tonight.
Sure.
Basically, what I hear from what, I'm reading, I can read the transcripts right out of it, but from what I hear, first of all, he's talking about, helping out, getting people student loans, getting their student loans paid off, figuring out a program to help student loans. He's talking about giving people free community college.
Right.
He is talking about continuing with the, affordable health care, making sure that doesn't get broken up. Because I think a lot of the majority of the U.S. Congress now is run by the R's, the conservative Republicans. So,
and I don't
know how well that's going to work.
I don't
with the
think the Republicans are going to take away Obamacare, but or the Affordable Health Care Act.
They're going to try to break up a lot of stuff, like maybe the mandate of it.
Right. They're going to try and modify it so it
anything that the IRS does, I hate.
Well, yes, and I mean the IRS cannot be the overlords.
They are.
Thing.
What do you mean they can't be? They are.
I mean, I know they are, but they shouldn't be.
I just got a letter from the state today. Speaking of that, but that's a whole other story.
Illinois Department of
Yeah. Well, no, that one's over some money they say I owed back in the day, like 10 years ago. I didn't even know they could chase you, but. The state's like 9. Speaking of more political stuff, state we didn't have the state of the state. We got a new governor sworn in. He gave his little speech. I guess that's it for now.
Well,
he's putting his budget in, but Illinois is $9 billion in deficit this coming year.
And the new governor's got his work cut out for him.
Yeah, so I mean, but that's the state level. We got to get back to the federal. So the president's doing all this good stuff. Well, he's trying to do all this good stuff. Basically, help the middle class. Mm-hmm. He's talking about doing the business tax that they were calling on CNBC TV, corporate tax, raising that again, like a big tax. Like they're kind of, they get away with a lot.
Well, that's
being big corporations.
That's the big question.
1%.
That apparently a lot of people don't question. Well, some people do. But we never get an answer to who's going to pay for all this.
Well, that's what I was going to wonder. How in the hell are we going to pay for free college?
For
I mean, I'm all in favor. Look, like I said, I'm from the adult industry. I like free condoms for everybody. Hey, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
I mean,
but how do you pay for it?
I'd be more than happy to stand up in front of everybody in the country and say we're going to have this and rainbows are going to happen every day.
Yep.
And everybody gets a free puppy.
We're going to have trannies, the 4th of July tranny holiday or something.
Exactly. I mean, just make all these pie in the sky promises that nobody can argue with.
Are you going to dance with half naked almost in the street with the little bow and the flowers in your hair and all that shit?
For what? No,
I don't know. We're having the training holiday.
I don't know. I think I'll have Beyonce do that for me or something.
Beyonce? What are you saying about Beyonce? I thought she was married.
I can't stand Beyonce.
What does that have to do with being a tranny?
It doesn't have anything to do with it. I'm just saying I can't stand Beyonce.
Okay.
But somehow or another she seems to be a link to the the guy in charge.
Well, but seriously, we can link this to your issues with your gender switch.
Sure.
What do you think about the government helping you? Not that they are, but
They're not. I mean,
maybe there should be a program where they help out the people who change their sex.
They're not going to. I mean, I don't think they will. We are making strides in that community, I think, as far as understanding it. But then again,
do you get is it part? Do you get does Medicare or Medicaid or does your health insurance pay for going to like a therapy session and stuff like that, or going to get the operations? It doesn't. Right?
Well, mine doesn't pay for anything. I don't. I mean, I don't. And even if because I don't have a health insurance. I have the Cindy Lou plan.
Yeah, but it's all. Wait. It's all cosmetic, don't you? Or is it? Let's talk about that for a minute. We're kind of getting off of the State of the Union for a moment because I want to focus on your issue specifically. You're not in the 1%.
No.
Chaz Bono was in the 1%, so she didn't have to worry about paying for anything. Her mom paid for it all.
I mean, her mother was, yeah.
Yeah, her mom, I'm sure Cher paid for most of that stuff.
His mother was. Yes.
Oh, excuse me.
Yes. Let's keep it politically correct here when we're talking about
Cher's
the transgender
son.
Community.
Right, transgender. So anyway, let's back up. How would the president, any of his reforms, you think, help your community specifically?
Well, I don't know if any of it will. He can make all the reforms he wants, and I'm not so sure it'll even help, because you will get so much resistance from other people who will say, no, this is elective. No, it's only cosmetic. No, it's this. No, I don't believe in it for religious purposes.
But that's what I'm asking. Where do you stand? Where do you stand? Where is your legally? How do you? I mean, they see you as a woman, but when you switch, it's not like me going in and having them check my prostate. You know what I mean?
Sure.
This is like you're cutting stuff up. So
sure.
Is it cosmetic, or are they? That's what I'm saying. Is this something that maybe the president needs to address for people with issues of like the gay, the LGBT community?
On that front, it has been proposed, and they said that I think the figure is something like it'll raise people's premiums by about 13 cents to
per what? Per month?
Policy. Like 13, it's only going to cost you 13 cents more on top of whatever it is you're paying
to
cover the transgender community.
No way.
Yeah. I have a particular issue with the community.
Wait, when you say 13 cents, 13 cents like per month, per year?
No, like per year. I mean, it's just ridiculously low. Because
and that would help where you could have like operations included in the medical, like an Obama healthcare, affordable healthcare plan.
Exactly. The reason why it's so low is because you've got so many people paying into the system, and there are there are so few transsexual people out there that actually truly do require the surgery.
Yeah, I mean, didn't we talk about this on one show that there's like, I don't know, 10% in the whole world or something like that? There's about 6 billion
10%.
people.
I mean, there's 6%. I mean, there's what, 7 billion people in the world?
6.5, I think we're at, something like that.
I mean, I think that the current figure of what I
After
saw
all these
lately,
tsunamis and floods and all that,
I can't even talk about
6.5.
the world, really. I mean, I think that what I saw as far as like America goes, the United States goes, I mean, there's somewhere in the order of about 325 million people in the country.
That are what?
No, total people.
Oh, total is 325. Duh. Yeah.
Ish.
No, in the USA, that's right. About 330, something like that.
Something like that.
How many are Cindy Lou's?
Somebody came up with a figure. There's about 700,000 transgender identified people. Now, the thing about transgender identified is it doesn't matter. You don't have to do a damn thing.
Does that mean
you could just say
does
I'm
that
transgendered.
mean dressing in clothes, being a male dressing as a female,
Stuff
or
like that, yeah.
Actually becoming? You've actually become a female.
Well, it's such an umbrella term that it includes people that maybe they just do a little cross dressing on the weekends. So they're just as much as transgender as I am.
So why don't you hear it talked about in any of the? You don't hear anybody that I can think of. Even that Tom Tunney, alderman out of Chicago, he's an openly gay alderman.
Right.
And I mean, there's other openly gay politicians. Why aren't they talking about this?
I think the whole policy, the whole point I was trying to make, I think about the whole transgender thing, is it's an umbrella term. I mean, there is transgender. There are transsexual people. Transsexual people are part of the transgender community.
But don't you think that we should be able to have you be able to get medical care
should
and
be.
not be considered cosmetic.
Yeah.
I don't know how I got on this subject. I was just thinking we were talking about something with the 1%.
I believe there should be some sort of something. But then again,
we were talking about what the president was giving out, so then we kind of segued. But seriously, this is no joke. I mean, how come? I mean, I can't get. I tried to go get, like moles removed, and they're bitching about it. I thought that was medical. So if I'm having problems with that, I can't imagine you trying to get things done.
Exactly. So that's the thing. And
so how much did you spend to get the anatomy to change? That's a lot of money.
I spent about, I don't know, $60, $70 a month on pills.
Oh, shit.
That's it.
That's a lot of money.
It's out of pocket.
And that's not just for 1 year. That's an ongoing.
That's forever, for the rest of my life.
Wow.
Until I pony up more money for a surgery, and then I can actually, save a little bit on medications.
I don't know if President Obama, if you're listening. Actually, I think the president is listening. Hold on. I think the president's actually, speaking of the president of the United States, I think he might be calling. Let me find out what's going on. Do we have a call, Danny? Did he call? Okay. I think he's calling the secret hotline. Let me get him to call the studio. But that's weird that you said that, and then here he's chiming in. So we're going to get to the State of the Union. We got about 10 or 15 minutes left, but I think the president's going to call in here. So let me get him on the line real quick. But go ahead. You were making a point. So I didn't mean to interrupt.
Now I forget what point I was making. Well, I guess I think the main point I really need to make is
how do we pay for it?
Yeah, how do you pay for it and stuff like that. And there is a big thing that we need the group to really kind of rally around and say this is what really we want. However, there's just not that many of us. That's why we've been absorbed into the larger LGBT community, and
I mean, that's a big community.
Yeah, by most standards, I mean, we're all the same.
But those are more.
But we're not.
That's more. I mean, the LGBT, the T is for transgender.
Yeah,
but the lesbian. What's the L? Wait, lesbian, gay,
bisexual.
Oh, bisexual. Okay.
And it's
so do you consider yourself gay? I know I've asked you this off the air before.
I mean, I think the best term is I'm pansexual. I suppose is pan, P-A-N.
Okay.
Apparently, Kingpin is telling us that we've got a very important call.
Do we have the? I think do we have the Secret Service telling you it's the president?
Yes.
Is this the president of the United States of America?
My name is Barack Obama, and I'd like to address the American people.
Hey, President Obama, you just did your speech. We're commenting on it right now. We'd like you to join in the conversation. Thank you so much for joining our conversation this morning on the Best Morning After Ever radio show. I know we've had you on briefly before, but it's still always an honor to talk to the president, whether we agree or disagree with him. But you're just in time. We were just talking about we want to address the president on this topic. Go ahead,
What?
Cindy Lou.
Yeah, it's Mr. President. We're talking about the issue of transgender politics. And
we're wondering why you don't propose like that being a medical issue through affordable health care, so she doesn't have to pay out of pocket as more of a cosmetic plan. Why can't it be included in medical, health insurance or Medicare?
The reason is because true Obamacare includes a bucket of fried chicken to every household.
Okay.
We don't want to overdo it. We just want to give each household one bucket of fried chicken.
Free fried chicken.
All right.
This will increase more jobs, more people to work at KFC, churches, and Popeye's Chicken.
So it doesn't matter that it's that she's transgender.
Hunger.
Wait. So this is the plan. You're gonna fill me up and make me happy on delicious fried chicken, and then maybe I'll forget the need for have a.
No, seriously, Mr. President, this is no joke. Can't we have more support for the LGBT community, the lesbian? I don't even know.
I support
gay,
homosexuality, lesbianism, and transgenderality. I believe in equal rights, and that every gay person has a right to sit down and have delicious fried chicken.
Every time we get the president on the hotline, he's very hungry. He's a very hungry president. He's pretty skinny. It makes sense that he's always eating fried chicken.
I mean, yes, and I agree with you that is an important issue. And hopefully, maybe with your support, we can get that Chick-fil-A put into Wrigleyville because they need one there.
and you can go get your fried Chick-fil-A, and that'll make you feel better over there in Boys Town when you're going to get your operation.
That's right, because the Cathy family down in Atlanta, they really appreciate the.
Mr.
The
President,
homosexuals.
you talked
Yeah.
about a family of two, now of four, having two kids, and the husband and wife had to go back to school and work, nights just to pay their college bills. But that's why I'm thinking, can't you suggest something for health care to reform in the, people needing help, like the elderly and the transgender?
Well, absolutely. As I was saying earlier, I believe that if everybody goes to work for KFC, Popeyes, and churches, this will include in the economy, 1, health coverage by a liable business, 2, more people go back to work making chicken, and 3, the chicken would feed the hungry.
Now,
it's come down to the bird, the fried bird.
Now, I understand that. Now,
I didn't hear you mention this on TV tonight, Mr. President.
Mr. President, Your Excellency, as we've all started to call you, Your Eminence.
It seems 8 years.
Exactly.
We've got a lot of presidents ruling for 8 years.
What is
these
your
days.
feeling? How much does the people making the fried chicken, is that worth $15 an hour?
You see, if I include minimum wage, this makes more money to pay to our farmers who supply the chicken. Now, I don't just want any kind of chicken.
You want the premium Purdue Farm?
You want premium
chicken. No preserve, no. What is that they put in the?
You mean like corn-fed?
Yeah,
and,
it's all corn-fed.
Free range.
Yeah, free range. No preservative. No steroids. That's what I'm
no
thinking.
No steroids.
Yeah, that's what President Obama likes. The Purdue chickens, right? Did we see? We lost the
Perhaps
president.
maybe we can have.
Oh no, I was just listening to your steroid talk. You see, there's many forms of eating chicken, and especially I like my chicken choked.
Well,
sometimes my wife likes to choke on my chicken.
Well, thank you for being on the air with us, Mr. President. That was the President of the United States of America making his comment on the State of the Union tonight. We appreciate you participating and
Apparently
taking time out of your...
special throw out to Kentucky and the wonderful fried chicken that they produce for the
He must
country.
have some big lobbyist in the chicken industry.
He's owning some stock in that stuff, the Yum Yum Corporation.
I think every time we've had the pleasure of speaking with the president in the last year, it's always been about chicken.
And, he's a busy guy.
Now I totally forgot what I was going to say. We got a couple of minutes left in this half hour, and we've now had the president talk about his boy. He must, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true that the African American community enjoys their fried food, apparently. Specifically Kentucky Fried or
You're
churches.
not supposed to say that. They don't want us to know that we know that. It's
know
all a big secret.
I don't know. On that note, anybody is in Chicago, they're having a Super Bowl party at the Porter's Theater, which is right across from the studios of Slam Internet Radio, where we tape our show in the mornings here. So you can give us a call. Hit us up on Facebook, the Best Morning After Ever Facebook or Twitter page, and we'll get it.
Well, call us now. The 9th caller gets a free pair of tickets.
The 9th caller's going to call this time in the morning. They don't even know we're on the air. We haven't been on for 3 weeks, for Christ's sake.
Trying to make it like a real show.
I didn't want to forget that we had. Well, no, we'll get response from the Facebook page.
We'll get response.
So we have Super Bowl 2015 viewing party at the Porter's Theater in Chicago for anybody interested. On that note, I was going to make a point about the 1%ers, and the president was briefly in the speech mentioned, the possibility of raising the income tax for the higher bracket. But do you know that 1%? We got a couple minutes. I could bring this up. 1% of the rich, the rich 1%, the richest 1% in the country own 90% of the wealth. That's the latest, and it keeps going every year. Keeps getting a little more and more. So now we're at 90%. I'm trying to find the article. Of course, I can't find it now. Oh, here it is. So interesting that it's come to that. I mean, I knew it was getting up there. Here it is. It's from Elite Daily Magazine. The latest report was just trending all over Facebook in the last couple days. But this is from the 19th. A new report has found that the wealthiest 1% of the population will have more money than the rest of the world by next year.
Well,
did you hear that?
That's true.
The issue is basically, this is coming from Credit Suisse and Forbes magazine. So, I mean, it's a pretty credible source. The number will exceed 50% in 2016 should the wealth of the 1% increase at the same ratio. So, I mean, that is just insane.
Yeah.
I wish I was a 1%er. I wish I was the president. He makes a $500,000 a year. So, Anyway, on that note, it's been a pleasure just talking with the president and having fun with Cindy Lou.
Yep.
Getting to know Cindy Lou a little
Yep.
more. You are listening to the Best Morning
We'll
After.
talk about that again, but
We will. We always will touch on your stuff.
Uh-huh.
You're listening to the Best Morning After Ever radio show. I'm John St. John, your host, and this, of course, is Cindy Lou.
thank you very much.
My co-host, the lovable, beautiful Cindy Lou.
Right.
And, catch us every morning on Slam Internet Radio. And then, of course, you can find us pretty much anywhere on the Internet, including iTunes, YouTube, slaminternetradio.com, Spreaker, Blog Talk Radio, and really just anywhere you look, you'll find us. If there's articles about us, Facebook, Twitter. Just type in the Best Morning After Ever radio show, or you don't even have to do that anymore.
The best morning after ever.
Ever. That's all you have to do, and
you'll
you will
find
find
us.
Yep. So on that note, everybody have a great morning, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.